Hi YouTube, it's Gemma here at A Story and a Song, and what I want to do today is bring you my April wrap up. In the April wrap up, what I want to do is just go through all the things with you that I read in the month of April. And I was actually quite surprised when I piled all the books together that I did read in April, because I felt like I didn't read that much, but I actually did. So without further ado, we'll get to the books. So first of all, we have Blue Lily, Lily Blue, and this is standing in for the whole of the Raven King cycle. The Raven Boys, sorry, the Raven King is something else. The Raven King is actually from Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I always get them confused. Apologise. So I read the 4 of these books in really quick succession at the very beginning of the month. I really enjoyed them. I did feel, however, like not a lot actually happened in the books. They are very character driven. They are very based around emotions, and Maggie Stiefvater's very good at writing that. Everything moves kind of slowly. The ending was a total surprise to me, the ending of the series. I'm really glad that I've heard that Ronan is getting his own series as well, because I loved Ronan. He was my favourite, and I don't think that I'm alone there. So I'll be eagerly awaiting the new book. I think it's coming out towards the end of the year. So next, I also read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Now, I felt like this was one of those books that I had to read. Not that anyone was forcing me at knife point or anything, but I felt like in order to really be on BookTube, you kind of have to read the Grisha trilogy. And you know what? I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but even though the main character of Alina was sort of, how would we say it, dumb as a box of rocks, I really enjoyed the story. She was so attached to Mal, and I was just like, why is he worth being so attached to? Because he's a pain in the tonsils. But anyway, I still have the second book, Siege and Storm, on my TBR for this month. I will get around to reading it. Everyone says that, well, not everyone, but a lot of people say Siege and Storm is the best book out of the 3. So I'll let you know how that one goes. Next we have Kitty and the Silver Bullet, which is about a werewolf called Kitty, ironically enough. And she is a radio presenter. She hosts a late night call-in show. It really does have a True Blood sort of vibe to it. It was actually has a, not on this book, but on one of the other books, it does have a quote from Charlene Harris saying, you know, really like this book kind of thing. And there's about 15 in the series. I have about 4 or 5 still to read. And I believe there's another one in my April wrap up, which is Kitty Takes a Vacation. I've actually not got that one on me at the moment because I've already lent it to someone else. And I will be lending it to my mum because I think she'll really like it. And then we have A Court of Thorns and Roses. Now, I went into this one without much expectation. I'll keep it real with you here, Chief. I didn't have any expectations of this book. All I knew was Sarah J Maas seems to be either people love it or they hate it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of in between. So I kind of went into expecting to hate it, but I didn't. I really liked it. Again, what is it with female characters who are just so dumb? So dumb. And the other thing that bothered me was there was a smidgen of, she's not like all the other girls, but you know, meh. It's the trope that bothers me one of the most, I think, because when I was 13 or 14, I remember that trope from teen books when I was young, and it really bothers me because it's quite a toxic thing, you know, against teenage girls. It's like, oh, the things that most teenage girls like aren't worth liking. You know, it's the equivalent of like girls saying, oh, I don't like One Direction, I'm not like all those other girls that do. I don't like that at all. And the only trope that it did subvert throughout the book that I was kind of worried about was that sisterly hate thing. I've seen other people mention it and I don't like it either, but they did kind of subvert it towards the end, so I was happy about that. And I'm looking forward to the next one. I have the next one which will show up in my May haul. So yeah, I really liked it. Looking forward to the next one. Should I read Throne of Glass? That is the question. So another one of the Kitty Norville books, Kitty Goes to Washington. Kitty, the radio host werewolf, has to testify in front of a congressional hearing about the fact that she's a werewolf. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Really good. Enjoyed it. And then, sorry for all the leaning over. The books are right next to me, but you know. Next we have Nevernight. I read this in April. I loved it. There was a lot of setup, a lot of world building in it, but I really, really liked it. It reminded me quite a lot of a few of the sort of grimdark fantasy worlds that I like. Really loved it, really liked the main character. Mia is not dumb. Mia is sensible and a murderer, but she's a sensible murderer. So hey, that's good for her. And that, I believe, is, that, just the other books in the Raven cycle there. So I did end up reading quite a lot in April. I've had a lot of things on. It was, I'll just say it again, it was my birthday. I was visiting my best friend in York. Hi Adrian. And it was a great time. So I've had a lot on this month. May, I'll be back at work. Yes, I can't wait to be back at work. I know that sounds weird, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll be back on my usual reading schedule. So I'd imagine I'll also be reading quite a lot of Avengers Endgame Fix It Fic on AO3. I know we'll all be there. So that's everything from me for my April wrap-up YouTube. You've seen my TBR. Will I get through it? Probably. So that's it from me just now. Take care. Bye-bye.